Good afternoon, everyone. I am Michaela Peck from the Office of Distance Learning. In today's session, we will be exploring the creation of a brand new course online. All right, so the name of the training is a basic training because it really looks at the different aspects and the steps to course creation as well as populating your course with resources. All right, so for today's session, if you wish to speak, you can raise your hand or you can use a chat feature. To access the raise hand feature, you look bottom center of your screen. You're seeing an avatar or a picture of yourself. You should see a mic icon. You should see a video camera icon, and you should see an avatar with a hand raised. You tick that avatar with the hand raised if you wish to raise your hand. When you have raised your hand, you can give me a moment to acknowledge you, and then you can take the mic. Within those same series of icons, the second icon that looks like a mic, that is a mic icon. Once you click on it, it is enabled and you'll be able to speak. If you prefer to use a chat to ask a question, you can access same from the collaborate panel, which is bottom right of your screen. So there's a little purple ribbon bottom right of your screen. If you click on that, the collaborate panel will pop out, and the first icon that looks like a chat bubble represents the chat feature. Right, so once you click on that, you can start typing your message to everyone. All right, the second icon shows attendees or participants in the session. The next one allows you to share content, and the next allows you to adjust rather certain settings. Okay, so the series of trainings that we are having now are similar to the ones that we had in the summer. All right, we looked at the Moodle basic training. We looked at different in the intermediate aspects of Moodle, and then the final training will be an advanced training. Now, this is not a workshop in that you are not expected to work along with me while I am demonstrating. We actually have online training modules that allow you to go in at your own pace and to work, of course, being guided by resources that are uploaded there. Once you complete successfully each unit, you will receive a badge upon successful completion of the individual units. And once you have completed the entire online training module course, you'll receive a certificate of completion. Okay, and this is very important because this is the way in which now we are verifying lecturers who have had or who have Moodle courses within the UTech online platform. So it's very, very important for you to access the online training modules. I'll take you through shortly on how you can gain access. Most persons are already enrolled because they would have been a part of the summer semester training, but if not, no worries. So all that I'm taking you through today, it is fully reflected as well in the basic training online module. Okay, so I'm gonna start screen sharing just to show you what that module looks like and how you can access it. Okay, so all right, so in about 5 seconds, you will be able to see my screen. Okay, all right, so this is what the basic training online module looks like. All right, and this is what will guide today's session. All right, so you go through, you ensure that you read the introduction, listen to any voice clips that you hear, that you see, sorry, any voice clips that you're seeing, kind of listen to them. Important course information about the training module is being shared. All right, and then we go all the way down to the unit. So for course creation, if you're not aware, we don't do course creation in UTech Online, which is our live environment. All right, course creation is done from the sandbox space, referred to as LMS Dev, stands for Learning Management System Development, which is this site. We'll look at that shortly. This is where all courses are firstly created, and once they're populated to a certain extent and they are assessed by our team at the Office of Distance Learning, they are then migrated to UTech Online. Students do not have access to LMS Dev. It's a sandbox space, as the name suggests. We allow lecturers to go there, play around, become familiar, create a course, and then we migrate them to the live environment. So as said before, I'm just going to click to show you what Unit 1 looks like. Unit 1 has, so there are learning objectives tied to each unit, which basically tells you what you should be able to do at the end of each unit. There are resources for you to read, videos for you to watch concerning whatever that unit is about. So unit 1 is about course creation. It takes you through different resources, learning objectives, and there are learning activities for you to attempt for successful completion of each unit for the badges to be released. All right, so I'm going to go back and just give a quick overview of all the units we'll be looking at today. Moodle course creation, Moodle facilitator visibility and accessibility, course modification, course population, where you create labels and pages, URL files and folder and book, and that is basically it. At the end, once you're taking it, in order to receive your certificate, you have to complete a quiz. All right, and we ask as well that you do the training evaluation. All right, thereafter you'll be able to receive the certificate. Okay, do we have any questions before we delve into the first unit? Are there any questions? Okay, how do you gain access to this course? It's easy. If you're not seeing the course on your dashboard, you can write to us at the Office of Distance Learning to have you enrolled. All right, and once you are enrolled to the course, you will see it on your dashboard. My dashboard is still loading, so I can't show you what it looks like on the dashboard just yet. But once you're enrolled for the course, unless you're unenrolled, it will always be on your dashboard. All right, no rush for completion, but it would be good if you could just go in, get your own hands-on practice, and that will actually help you throughout the semester for completing basic tasks within your own course. All right, so the first section looks at course creation. So I'm going to go to LMS Dev to initiate a course. To do that, to access LMS Dev, you type the URL lmsdev.utech.edu.gm, but no worries, the link is right here. So you will just click on that and it will take you directly to this site. You will log in. Your login is the same as the login that you use for UTech Online, and you are required to scroll down and to search for your course category. So if you are in, let's say, COBAM, you would find your division. Is it marketing? Is it HRM? Is it administrative management? Whatever school you are under, that faculty or college, you would search for it. All right. So for me, I'm a part of the ODL unit. So I would click on ODL, which is Office of Distance Learning. All right, and I'm going to scroll down. Under ODL, we don't have any other subunits. All right, so I just scroll down and click that add a new course button. If it is that you're trying to do this on your own and you're not seeing the add a new course button, you can send an email to myself or Mrs. Kamala Anderson. That basically means that you're not a course creator at LMS Dev, and we can easily add you as one. Okay, so I'm going to click on add a new course. Oh, so the dashboard loaded, and this is what it looks like. So these are what the trainings look like on the dashboard. All right, and of course, any other course you are enrolled to. Okay, so we're going to add a course. I'm going to call this course Basic Training Demonstration. All right, and put in brackets Moodle. Okay, and then the course short name is normally the course code that you see on your syllabus. All right, so the course short name and the course ID is the same thing as the course code. Okay, so we're going to enter, just for the purpose of this training, I'm going to call this BTD 1001, and no two course codes can be the same. Okay, so let's say you started this course in the wrong category. What you can do is to, if you're seeing that the wrong categories here, you can simply click on the drop down and search for your correct category. All right, so you have another opportunity to change the category if needs be. Okay. All right. Now next we have the course start date. So the course start date would be a day ahead of the day that you're currently in. So it says the 31st of August. I'm going to just change this to the 30th. And the dates here really and truly don't matter, because when we export the course to or migrate the course to the live environment, our team is responsible for ensuring that the start semester date is what is actually there. All right, and we don't specify a course end date. You'll realize that this is grayed out, because at the end of the semester, the courses are reset for offering for the next semester. Okay, we're not required to fill all fields. Course ID, same as course code. We're not going to enter that. Course summary. So there's this little section in your course syllabus that says, I think course description, it says, right? You can copy and paste that description here. So it's an introduction to what the course really is about. Good. And then you have a course image. So with the course image, this is basically the first image that the students will see beneath the course name. So I had just shown you my dashboard. It's going to take a while to load again, but you would have seen the pictures and the course name here. So that is what that picture is about. So I normally tell persons to use a picture that best represents the course, not just any picture. So you would click on the add button, choose file, and locate the picture wherever it is. I'm gonna just choose a picture from my images folder here. I'm not sure why the pictures aren't showing, but I'm just going to blindly choose number 4. Click on upload this file. All right, and this looks like a technology image. Okay, cool. We're gonna work with that. We're gonna scroll down to course format. So you will see here that there are 4 different formats that that's being supported. Here in the live environment, we do have another format. It's a tile format, right? So here we have the single activity format, social, topics, and weekly format. The single activity format is for the creation of one activity only in the entire course. If I click on single activity format, it reloads and asks me to select the type of activity I want in this course. So only one activity alone can be in the course. If I select social format is used where you want to use the course for the purpose of a discussion group. So if you want the course in its entirety to be just like a forum discussion, then the social format is useful for that. We have the topics and the weekly format. The topics format allows you to specify the unit names or the topic names in your course, and the weekly format allows the system to generate week ranges from the start date to the end date of the module. I would say the most popularly used formats are topics and weeks, so you can select one based on preference. I'm going to select topics. And of course, the number of sections. This allows you to specify how many topics are in your course or how many sections or units. All right, so for the purpose of this training session, I'm going to select 3, but you'll be guided by your syllabus for that. Next, we have a hidden section. So in Moodle, you can hide any and everything. You can hide activities, resources, topics, whatever is in your course. If you do not want it to be shown, you can opt for it to be hidden. Now, this is asking you, if you hide something, how should it be displayed? Do you want it to be shown, but in a collapsed form where students can see the activity or resource, but they can't click it? Or do you want to hide things as being completely invisible? So let's say you have a quiz. You have set up the quiz, but you don't want students to be able to see it. You can completely make it, completely invisible. Or, I mean, there are many other ways to allow the students not to be able to interact with it. You can change the dates and so on and so forth. But if you want something to be completely hidden, you can say hidden sections are completely invisible. All right. And then we have course layout. This is a very useful option. If it is that your course has a lot of content, we normally recommend that you select for the topics to be shown per page, so 1 section per page. Let's say you have 10 topics or 10 units in the course and you have a lot of content under each. You don't want the students to have to be scrolling to eternity. It's a major turn off when students are presented with so much content all at once. So show 1 section per page is the best option in that case. If it's a small course Based on preference, you might want to have all sections on one page, and that option is there as well. Because I'm doing 3 units, I'm going to select show all sections on one page. Next, we have appearance, and some of these options, we don't trouble them at all. Force language, we're using English, so we don't need to force any other language. Number of announcements, this has to do with the forum. So once you create a module within the system, it generates a forum announcement forum, sorry. So I'm going to select number of announcements. So 1, you can always modify this if needs be. Show gradebook to students. Remember that assessments within Moodle can be graded. Do you want students to be able to access their gradebook? And of course, students are only able to see their own gradebook. All right. And then we have activity reports. So within Moodle, students' progress can be tracked. So the activity reports would basically show them where they are in the module and what they have left to complete. So they probably complete 25 out of 50 activities. That is basically what the activity reports show. Okay, files and uploads, we're not going to change the site limit. In the live environment, I believe the upload limit is about 5 gigabytes. In LMS, because you're not required to populate your course the entirety before migration, the site upload limit is a bit smaller. It's much smaller. Sorry, not a bit, it's much smaller. Completion tracking. Does anybody know what completion tracking is? Is anybody familiar with this feature? Anybody familiar with the completion tracking feature? Nobody at all? Should I probably pick somebody to tell me about to tell me what this feature is about? All right, somebody said no. Nobody at all knows what completion tracking is about. All right, so with completion tracking, okay, is that a hand?
Yes, I was going to make an attempt, but you
Miss
started, so
Noble.
continue.
No, man, go ahead, make your attempt.
Okay, so I remember in one of the modules you had said that for certain aspect of the courses, lecturers have the ability, and students as well, to track how it is that certain assignments are being handled. And so you have the option of saying, for example, you have to complete this module before you, or this assessment before you move on to the other part. And so you have the option of turning on or off the tracking feature.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Miss Noble. That's the idea. That's the idea. So with the completion tracking, it basically allows you to restrict your students from attempting an activity or resource if they haven't completed the previous or any other activity or resource. So for example, let's say you want your students to attempt a reading resource before trying to complete a quiz or any other activity. It can be set up where they can't attempt the quiz unless they have clicked to open the reading resource that comes before it. All right, so when you enable completion tracking, you have to set up different conditions for the activities and the resources that are involved. All right, so that's not a feature that we explore in the basic training, but just letting you know that it exists. All right, groups. So within the system, you can have activities done by your students in groups, right? So if you want to activate group mode, you can do that from here. You have separate groups where groups are able to see the interactions of other groups. So for example, in a forum, they can see what the other group has posted. Separate groups, sorry, that is the opposite. So for separate groups, they can't see the interactions of the other groups. With visible groups, now as the name suggests, they can see the posts made by the other groups. All right, and then we have role renaming. With the role renaming feature, let me just click on it. Yeah, the system appears to be a little bit slow. All right, so while that loads, the role renaming system. So Moodle has different names for different roles, as you can see. You have teacher, course
Okay, afternoon everyone. Kamala Anderson here. It seems as if Miss Peck ran into some internet challenges. I'm seeing where she's reconnecting. If she doesn't come on in a minute though, then I will take over until she comes back. Okay, she seems to have gotten kicked off. Maybe she lost internet. So I will attempt to pick up where she left off. Trying to get on to the LMS dev. All right. Okay. I didn't come on the time when she came on, so I'm not even sure which module she was using. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now. Okay. All right. So you should be seeing my screen. Just waiting for the system to come up. It's a little bit slow. Okay, so I'm on now. All right, so I'm not sure which, as I said, I came on a little bit late, so I'm not sure exactly which course she was using, so I'm just gonna pick a course. All right, so where we were was the edit settings section, right? So we were looking at, she was talking about role renaming, right? Yeah, so you're seeing my screen and you're hearing me. All right. So she was talking about role renaming. So she was saying that for different roles, you can create a different name if you wish. So these are the default roles: category manager, course creator, teacher, non-editing teacher, student, authenticated user, guest, ODL administrator, guest course creator, administrator copy 2, Adobe content presenter, etc. etc. So you may be looking at that and saying, I don't need to touch anything there, and you're right, you don't need to. So we're just showing you what is available, right? So you don't have to touch that there. You do notice here though, for demonstration purposes, instead of teacher, I'd put lecturer. So again, I mean, that's really up to you. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it's entirely up to you. You can change it if you wish. You don't have to change it at all. All right. And then on the tags, there's nothing much here. So basically went through the settings, and again, anything that is created here in the core settings, you can adjust it within the sandbox. So for example, let us say you want to make a change, you can just always go back and click on your gear wheel, click on the edit settings option, and then it will take you back to that page, right? So if you made a mistake, if you realize that you made a mistake in the short name or um, anything, or you didn't add a description, or you added an incorrect description, or you want to make an adjustment, you can always go back and make the adjustment there. And it's the same thing when the course is actually migrated to the live environment. You will have the same access once you are in a teacher role. You will have the same access within UTech Online.
Okay, apologies for
Okay.
that.
Oh, Miss Peck is back. All right. Go
Yes,
ahead, Miss
thank
Peck.
you, Mrs. Anderson. Thank you. All right, so
Yeah. So
I
we finished. No, I was just saying that we finished the edit settings option there. So
okay.
going through the yes, so you can continue from there.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much. All right, so I'm going to okay, so screen sharing is, I mean, recording is on. So let me just resume my screen. Perfect. All right. Okay, so it's logging me back into LMS Dev. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get back to good. Save and display the course. Okay, so I had an issue with the timeout. All right, so let me just try to search for, you just created a course, Mrs. Anderson, right? In the LMS Dev?
No man, I just use one. What I just use an existing course, so you can just go back to what you're using. Yeah, didn't bother
Okay.
to recreate a course. Yeah.
Yeah, I lost my own, so I'm just gonna use one of the empty courses here. Let me just see if
I was using that one. You can go ahead.
okay, all right, thanks. Okay, so once you have created the course, I'm just going to be removing these things quickly. Once you have created the course and you click on save, what it will actually show you, it might take you to the participants list of the course. All right. So the participants list basically shows the persons who are enrolled in the course. But of course, it's a brand new course. So only your name should be shown. Sometimes you might see administrator's name, but not a fear. All right, so this is what the course looks like, blank and empty, just like this. Once it is once you have just rather created it, so it should be just like this, blank and empty. However, remember when we were setting up the course, we had opted for 3 topics. All right, so because of what just happened, we are only seeing 1 topic. Okay, but it's easy to add topics to your module. What you need to do is to ensure that editing is turned on. Okay, so top right, there's the turn editing on button. You click on that and then you add your topics. I'm going to click on add topics here and I'm going to select 3 for the number of sections I want. All right, so add topics. So now I have 3 topics, topic 1 to 3. Okay, so we are going to be guided by, as said before, the basic training module, and we just did the course creation section. Now, the next thing that we need to do, and it's a part of Unit 2, it says Moodle Facilitator Visibility. Okay, so it's very important. I can't stress the importance enough of your students being able to see who you are, being able to see your name, some contact information as well, just to reach you, if anything. All right, so that has to be visibly placed on the course page. It's extremely important. All right, so what I recommend is that that be placed in a block to the right of the course. So it's basically a little profile for the lecturer. So to add that block, ensure editing is turned on. All right, and then in the navigation, or we call the administration block, which is the left panel, you click on it. So you can activate it by clicking the lines, 3 lines top left of the course. You scroll down and click on other block. So with this feature, you won't see it if editing is not turned on. So editing has to be on. So you click on other block and we're searching now for the HTML block. Gonna click on it and the block is now here to the right. Okay, so we're going to configure the block to enter our information. So we're going to click on the actions menu, click on configure, and I'm going to give the block a title. So I'm going to call it Meet Your Online Facilitator. And in the content box is where you'd enter a picture of yourself and information about yourself. So I'm going to grab an image, upload a file, choose file from my computer. I'm going to be using an avatar for the purpose of this training session. Double click on it and upload this file. Okay, I'm going to make the image a little bit smaller. Okay, and then I can put in the description profile picture of instructor. So what happens is that if it is a case where the student's browser can't load the image, at least the alternative text will tell them what the image is about. All right, so save image. And then now we are going to be entering the contact details below. All right, I think I hear the chat going off. Okay. All right, so we are going to now enter the name. So we have to hit the enter key because wherever the cursor is, that is where whatever we enter next will be entered. So we click on the enter key to get the cursor below the avatar picture, and name, Michaela Peck. All right. Email address. So any useful information you want to share with your students about you, you can put it in this block. And then contact number. Okay. All right. So I bolded the name by clicking on Control and B before I started to type. But if you want to bold, it's easy. You just block what you want to bold and hit the B. So it's like any word processor. All right. So you have that there. You scroll down and you save changes. Okay. So that is what that looks like. Okay. All right. Now, our third unit looks at Moodle course modifications. I'm just going to click into unit 3 to see what that speaks to. So that has to do with modifying section names. How do you add or remove sections? So we just looked at how you can add sections. You add sections by scrolling to the bottom of your page and by clicking on add topics and entering the amount of sections you want to add. As it relates to now giving the topics a name, that is simple too. You click on the pencil tool beside each topic and you enter a name. All right, so the first topic name, I'm going to enter Introduction to Moodle. All right, once you have entered your information, you hit the enter key on your keyboard. The next topic we are going to be looking at, or entering rather, and then you hit the enter key on your keyboard. Topic 3, you click on the pencil, you start typing. All right, and you hit the enter key on your keyboard. And it's the same thing. If you wish to change what you have, you simply hit the pencil and you can make your modifications. But just ensure that you hit the enter key when you are through. Okay. All right, so we have the module names. Now, let's say I wanted to modify the topic. So if I click on edit, it allows me to highlight the topic. I can edit the topic name. I can hide the topic or I can delete it. So if I click on edit topic, it allows me to enter a summary. So if I want to give my students an introduction to what this topic is about, I could enter that here. All right, and then I would scroll down, click on save changes. The next option says highlight. So if I want to bring to the forefront this particular section of the course, I can click to highlight. So when I click on highlight, All right, you will realize, so it's much more visible on the live environment because of the background. When it is highlighted, you can see, let me just zoom in, you see the blue highlight right here, right? But it's much more visible. I think the highlight is actually looks different within the live environment. But highlighting is basically adding some marker to that topic to let the students know, hey, this is where we're at. And then we have hide. If I click on hide, students will not be able to access it. So they might be able to see that there's a topic, but they won't be able to access it. And here it tells you hidden from students. So you can see it as a lecturer, but the student is unable to. All right, so I'm going to unhide. And if I want to delete, I simply hit delete topic. All right, and you realize it is completely gone. Okay, so we're going to now add some content to our first unit that we have. So back to the basic training, we have done unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3. We're going to move on now to unit 4. In unit 4, we are going to be populating the course. We're going to be first adding a label, and then we're going to add a page. Okay, what is a label in Moodle? A label enables us to add course content directly to the course page. When is the label used? The label is used in a variety of ways. Let's say you want to make a heading for content on your course page. You can use a label. If you want to place information directly on the course page that you want to quickly bring your students' attention to, you can use a label. If you want to place, for example, a video that you want students to be able to immediately see, you can use a label. So for any reason that you might want content directly on the course page, you can use a label. However, use of the label frequently, or overuse rather of the label, is not recommended, because we don't want everything directly on the course page and students are just scrolling on this long page going all the way down. So we have to be mindful about what we put in the label, and it has to be intentional. All right, so we're going to click on add an activity or resource. So remember, in order to make any course changes, editing would have to be on. All right, and then under the unit that you want to add that resource to, you click on add an activity or resource, click on resources, and then you would click on label. You will realize that it is starred because it's a frequently used resource by me, so I starred it. So if you want to star an activity or resource, you simply click on the star bottom left of that activity or resource. All right, and once you click on it, it now appears in the starred category. Sorry. Okay, so if we click on information, so one thing about Moodle, you can't really get lost because it has a lot of useful information pinned to different sections. So if I click on the information icon here, it tells me that the label module enables text and multimedia to be inserted on the course page in between links to other resources and activities. Labels are very versatile and they can help to improve the appearance of the course if it is used properly. The labels may be used to add a short description to a course section, to display an embedded video or sound file directly on the course page, or to split up a long list of activities with a subheading or an image, which I had mentioned earlier. All right, so we are going to click now on the label, and it gives us the text box to enter the content. So for the purpose of this label, we are going to be adding an image and some text. Okay, so since the name of this topic is resources in Moodle, I'm going to just say here, the book resource in Moodle is very useful. All right, and I'm going to block this text, bold it, and Control U to underline it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I am going to select an image. So I'm going to go to the internet. I'm going to type in Moodle book resource just to get an image of whatever that icon looks like. Click on images. All right, and I'm going to use this image because it points to the book resource. All right, just being consistent with the topic that I'm working on now. So to grab this image, I'm going to right click and select the option that says copy image address. We normally advise that you save the image to your computer because in the event that the image is removed from the internet and you have owned the link of the image in your course, it's going to be broken and students will not be able to see the image. All right, so typically you save the image to your computer and upload it as I had shown you for the course image. All right, but I'm also showing you how you can grab the image address. So you click on copy image address, go back to the module, all right, and then using the image icon, you would paste the URL here. You can right click and paste or Control V to paste. All right.
Excuse me,
And
Miss Peck, can you repeat that step for me, please, with the book? I'm not sure if I got it.
okay, sure. Right. So what I was saying is that I'm just grabbing an image from the internet. Okay. So I want to place this image underneath my text here. So what I was saying is that we normally advise that you save the image to your computer. Because, sorry, in the event that the image is removed from the internet, you might not be able to see it in your course, and your students will not be able to see it in your course. So if it is that you save it to your computer and then you upload it, that is the better route. They'll always be able to see. But I'm demonstrating how you can copy the image address. So you right click on the image, select the option that says copy image address. All right, and then you go back to Moodle. Good. And then you would click on the image icon here, right click, paste the image address, and we're going to describe the image. So image showing Moodle's book resource. Okay, and of course you can resize the image if you want to. You can resize it. So I'm going to change this to 200. I want it really small, or 100. All right, so probably 200 is more visible. 200, and then I click on save image. We are going to scroll down and save this label and see what it looks like on the course page. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the course page. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, so the label shows text, which is underlined and bolded, and it also shows an image. Okay, so that is what the label feature looks like. Of course, you're not limited to just text and you're not limited to just image. It could be an audio recording or other sound clip. It could be a video, it could be a table, it could be a link. Just about any type of content you want to place directly on the course page. Okay, the next resource we want to look at adding is called a page. We actually call it a web page. The page resource enables you to add any type of content, and as the name suggests, it is on a page, so it's not directly on the course page. Why is this particular resource useful? It is useful in many ways. Let's say you have contents that you want to share with your students, but you don't want to use a Word document because you might have to make changes down the line. With the Word document, you would have to make the changes on your computer, save it, and re-upload it. If you're using a page, you can actually just make the changes by editing the page settings, applying the changes, and saving it, and that would be it. So it basically saves you some time. So we're going to read a bit more about the page resource from resources here. And it says, this enables a teacher to create a web page using a text editor. The page can display text, image, sound, video, web links, embedded codes. Advantages of using the page module rather than the file module includes the resource being more accessible and easier to update, especially for mobile device users, right? For large amounts of content, though, it is not recommended to use a page. It's not recommended that you use a page. It's recommended that you use a book, the book resource. So we look at that shortly. But a page may be used to embed several videos or sound files together with some explanatory text, or it can be used to present the terms and conditions of a course or a summary of the course syllabus. And why it's not recommended for large amounts of content is because it's just a one-pager. All right, so your students will be scrolling into eternity if it is that you have too much content there. They advise use of the book form, the book resource, because with that particular format, it's just like a book. You have information on several pages that are hyperlinked, so you can skip to each. All right, so I'm going to add the page resource, and we are going to call this um, okay, so that's the name of the page. Now, this resource has a description box. Sometimes even I myself put the page content in the description box, but this is not the correct area. The description box can give information about what is on the page or any other information that you want to give to students about this page. All right. The page content box is where you put the actual information. Okay. So I'm going to be grabbing a video from YouTube for this page, and I'm also going to be doing an audio recording for this page. Okay, so I'm going to open YouTube, and I'm going to copy the name of my page. So the name of the page is Let's Explore Moodle Resources. I'm just going to paste that there to see if they have any content on that. Okay, so I'm going to be using the first video I see. It says Exploring Moodle, Adding Resources. All right, so to grab this video now, I don't want the link of the video. I want the actual video to be embedded in LMS Dev. So to grab the actual video, I have to copy the HTML code or the embed code. To get that, I right click on the video and I select copy embed code. So we're not copying the link up here, we're copying the embed code. All right, we're going to go back to Moodle and we're going to paste the code. Now, if I paste the code here, you'll realize it's just a code because the text editor can't interpret HTML. I have to activate the HTML tool, which is a part of the text editor, to see the video. So this option here allows me to see more buttons. All right, so the HTML editor is at the end of the second row. So when I click on that, I can paste my HTML code. When I click back on the button, the video appears. All right, so I'm going to do that again. I go to YouTube, I right click on my video, click the option that says copy embed code, go back to Moodle, click on the embed HTML option. All right, Control V to paste my code. I click back on the HTML button and the video appears. You can put multiple videos if you want. You just keep repeating the same steps. Let's say I wanted to now record an audio file as part of the content for this page. Moodle allows me to do that. In the first row, there's a mic icon. It says record audio. I can click on that. And if I click on start recording, sometimes it gives you a prompt to allow the browser to use your mic. All right, it didn't this time, it just started to record me. And it gives you 2 minutes, so mine is counting down. All right, so I'm going to click on stop recording, play it back to ensure I like it. Start recording. Sometimes it gives you a prompt to allow. All right, if I don't like the recording, I can click on record again. If I'm satisfied with it, I can click on attach. Okay, and I can do multiple 2 snippets if I want. It just doesn't have to be one. All right, and then now let's say I already have the audio recorded but it's on my computer, or I already have the video but it's on my computer. This little icon here, sorry, that's the wrong one. This one, insert an audio or video file. When I click on it, I can insert a link, I can insert a video from my computer, right? Or I can insert an audio recording from my computer. If you wish to record the video while you're in Moodle, this is the option that you use, record video. So you can record audio, record video, upload a picture, or upload an audio or video file. All right, so these are things that you can explore. So we have our page name, we have the content on our page. We're going to scroll down and save and return to course. Okay, So this is our page, represented by a page icon. We're going to click on it. Good. And this is what the page looks like with the audio snippets there. They can click to play the music video, to play the video rather, and they can click on F to full screen it if they wish, right? Or they can click on the full screen option here to watch the video full screen. Okay, so I'm not sure if I mentioned at the top of your page underneath the course name is what we call a series of links. It's really a breadcrumb trail. All right, the breadcrumb trail contains a series of links that allows you to quickly jump to different areas in LMS steps. So if I want to go back home, I can click on home, which takes me to that page that shows the different faculty categories. If I want to go back to the course page, the main course page of the course I'm in, I can click here. If I want to go to a particular topic, which is resources in Moodle, I can click here. And this is actually the page I'm on now. So if I click on the course code, it will take me back to the main course page. Okay, so I think we have covered Unit 4 because we looked at creation of the label and creation of a page. Let's move on to Unit 5. Now in Unit 5, we explore the creation of a URL, how to add files and folders to Moodle. Let's look at the URL feature first. So URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator, and this enables you to add websites or link websites that are external to Moodle. So what it basically allows you to do is to enter the URL, the name of the URL, and the student will be able to click on it and it takes them to that external space. So we're going to be adding that as well. So add an activity or resource. We're still under resources. Remember, the Moodle training focuses on resources, okay, and URL. Let's read about the URL feature. Here it says it enables a teacher to provide a web link as a course resource. Anything that is freely available on the internet, such as documents, images, can be linked. The URL doesn't have to be the home page of a website. The URL of a particular page can be copied or pasted, or a teacher can use a file picker and choose a link from YouTube, Wikimedia, Flickr, and the list goes on. There are a number of display options for the URL which we're going to be looking at. Note that URLs can also be added to any other resource or activity type through the text editor. Okay, we're gonna add, and we are going to look for an article that speaks to the resources in Moodle. So article on resources in Moodle. And I think the best one to use for now is the one from the official Moodle site. Okay, we're gonna use this because it speaks to the different resources that are in Moodle. So what I'm grabbing here now is the actual web address. Okay, so to do that, I click in the URL section at the very top. So once I click, it has been highlighted. I'm going to right click, copy, go back to Moodle, and I am going to paste. So where it says external URL is where I paste the link, not where the name is. The name is the actual what is the name of the page? That is what you'd put here. All right, so I'm going to call this article on resources in Moodle, or I could put article colon resources in Moodle. We just want students to know that this is an article. All right, and then we scroll down and look at how we want the page to be displayed. So there are 4 options. I normally advise the use of the in pop-up feature because it pops up a new window which students can full screen, and once they close the window, they're taken back into Moodle. With the other options, it might take them away from Moodle and they have to be clicking the back button to go back. All right, and why that is not the best option is, let's say they have gone to the article here, but then they have clicked on folder to read more about folder, they click on other resource, they're going to have to be clicking the back button for several times, right? With the option we just selected, it basically opens like this in a window. So once they're through, they will just click to close and it will take them back into Moodle. All right, so we'll demonstrate that shortly. So in pop-up, then we scroll down and click on save and return. So you would realize by now that for every resource, you can add a description apart from the label resource, right? So if you want to tell your students, this article explores various resource types within Moodle. And for this description to be shown on the course page, you have to tick this little box. All right, scroll down, save and return. Okay, so this is what the URL looks like. You see the icon. When we click on it, it opens in a new window to itself. The student can full screen the window. All right, and they can navigate all over the place. But once they close the window, they're taken back to the course page in Moodle. Okay. Now we have some resources in our first unit. Let us look at populating our second unit. The next resource we want to look at is what we call files. Files are so very important in Moodle, and I would understand that probably most of your content is probably contained in a PDF or a PowerPoint or a Word document. We really want to move away from that as well because we want to explore, the use of the different resources for adding the content. Okay, so we are going to be showing you how you can use the files option to probably upload your course syllabus. Let's say you probably have lecture notes in a PowerPoint document, you want to upload it. The files feature is the best option for uploading that. Okay, so under our second topic, we're going to click on an activity or resource. Under resources, we're going to click on file. Okay, and I am going to call this lecture notes, and same name I'm giving it here. So let's say this is on facilitator, the importance of facilitator visibility within Moodle. Okay, we're going to scroll down to where it says select files, click on add, choose file, and I am going to just grab a random document from my computer. Let me scroll back up. Just going to double click on this one here and upload this file. So it can be file supports, PDFs, Word documents, Excels, so PDF, Word document, Excel, PowerPoint. It could even be a picture as well. Yeah, but we're looking at actual documents now. Okay, so I've just uploaded a PDF and I'm going to change the appearance to could be in pop-up, it could be embed. I think I prefer embed. Let's see what that looks like. Well, you can explore the different ones. All right, sorry about that. So we're going to scroll down, click on save and return, and that one is on the topic 2. So if I click on it, okay, so it's embedded, right? So if you like a display like this, then by all means you can go ahead, you can zoom in. This option here, fit to page, okay, so that is really small, so we're not going to fit to page. Okay, students can download, if they want, they can opt for a 2-page view. All right, so that is what the embed in pop-up would open it in a new window, so it would be very big and nice in a window to itself. All right, so what you choose is based on your preference. Okay, now let's say we have a number of files and we don't want to have them listed on the course page. How can we add that or add those? What we recommend is to create a folder and to put them in that folder. Now, before we go on to the folder, I want to show you how you can use an easier method for dragging and dropping multiple files on your course page. So I'm going to just open a folder on my computer. Okay. And I am going to just select. So I'm going to select the first three files here. All right, so I'm holding the control key down on my keyboard. If you're using Windows, it's the control key. If you're using Mac, it's a command key. You do a long hold and you individually select. All right, and then we're going to left click, remove the control button, and just drag everything and just drop it. All right, so let's do that again. Sorry, I have my folder opened. Good, and I'm just going to select any three documents. All right, I'm going to left click to drag and just drop them. So that is how you do the multiple upload of files. Otherwise, you'd have to add the file multiple times. Okay, now let's say I wanted to add multiple files, but I don't want them all to be shown on the course page like this. I want to put them in a folder. How do I do that? We're going to add an activity or resource again. Go to resources, click on folder, and here it says that the folder allows you to display a number of related files inside a single folder, which reduces scrolling on the course page. A zipped folder may be uploaded and the students would have to unzip it for display, or an empty folder created and files loaded into it. The folder is used for a series of files on one topic, or it can be used to provide a shared uploading space for teachers on the course page. All right, and in this case, you'll keep it hidden so that only you as a teacher can see it. Okay, so we're going to click on add, and we're going to give this folder a name. And of course, we're not going to name our folders additional lecture notes, just be a bit more specific as to what is contained in the folder, or you can use the description for that. All right, so I'm going to click on add, but we already know that method. What about us dragging and dropping? All right, we already know the method of adding. Let us use this little space to drag and drop. So let's say I wanted to upload these PDF files in this folder. I will just select them and I will just drag and drop them here. All right, so it says one of them is too large, so we're going to do that again. All right, so we're going to drag and drop. So it shows me it's loading all of them, and all of them have been loaded. It can be mixed files. It doesn't have to be straight PDF or straight Word document. One could be Excel, one Word, but just ensure they're interrelated. All right, we're going to scroll down and it says display folder contents. How do you want it to be displayed? On a separate page or inline on a course page? If it's on a separate page, they'd have to click on the folder to see what is in it. If it's inline on a course page, and the folder contents can be shown directly on the course page. So I'm going to show you what inline on a course page looks like and why it might be the best option. Scroll down and save and return. So this is what inline on a course page looks like. However, students can see what the folder contains without having to click on it. If they prefer not to have this, wide display of what is in the folder, they can simply click on the arrow here, and it hides what is in the folder. All right, so this overrides the separate page option where they have to click on the folder to see what is in it. They simply hit that down arrow key, and it shows them what is in it. If they want to download the entire folder, they can click on download folder. All right, do we have any questions before we move on? Are there any questions?
One quick question. Yes, Miss
Davis, go ahead.
Asking a quick question. I'm sorry, I was on the outside trying to get in the training from the beginning, so that is why I was late. So sorry if you have addressed this before.
Okay.
I came in when you were looking at the page option. I want to understand, is it an additional page or the page that we are working with, that we are accustomed to working with on Moodle? Or you're creating a separate page? I don't think I understood that part. I
Oh,
saw
so
how
the
you did
page.
it, but I don't know what came before that.
Okay, no man. So the page feature is the regular page feature that we have in the live environment. I was just demonstrating.
Okay,
Um, this is it. Yes, I was just demonstrating how you can add different content. Sorry, different content types to it. So the video and the voice overs.
okay, no problem.
So it's not different from what currently exists. All right. Do we have any additional questions before we move on? Okay. All right. So silence means I can continue. All right. So I think we have completed Unit 5, which looks at URL, files, and folders. I believe Unit 6 now is our final unit, which looks at book creation in Moodle. Okay, so I had spoken about the book earlier and why it's useful and why it's more advantageous over use of the page feature if you have a lot of content. Okay, so we're gonna revert to Unit 1 since Unit 2 is heavily populated and we're deleting one of the units, right? So we're going to add an activity or resource. Book. Let's look at book. So the book feature here, it says it enables a teacher to create a multi-page resource, observing the book-like format with chapters and subchapters. Books can contain media files as well as text, and they are useful for displaying lengthy passages of information, which can be broken down into sections. The book may be used to display reading material for individual modules of study, can be used as a staff departmental handbook, okay, cool, and it can be used as a showcase portfolio of student work. So it's just telling you the, creative ways in which you can utilize the book resource. So we're going to click on add. And I am going to give my book a name. Okay. So I'm going to call this, what should I call this? No. What a long name. Okay. And then we are going to scroll down to where it says appearance. On the appearance, it asks you, how do you want the chapter formatting to be displayed, as numbers, as bullets, or indented, or none? So I'm going to let it stay at numbers. Style of navigation. Do you want it to be TOC only, which is table of contents? Do you want it to be images or text? I'm going to select table of contents. All right, and then we're going to scroll down to save and display. We normally save and return to course, but we have to save and display now because the book is not yet populated. Okay, so we're going to call this chapter 1, and as usual, we give a name to the chapter. I can't think of one right now, but you will be guided by the content that you have or your syllabus. Okay, so I'm just going to say chapter name here, and I'm going to enter my content. Now, for this book, for chapter 1, we are going to enter some text. All right, and we are also going to enter a link and an image. So that's what we're going to enter for the first content box here. So I'm going to reach back for my article. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste text from it. Okay, this looks like ResearchGate. Let's not use that one. Let's just use this. So already have the content, right? So we're going to copy some text, paste. All right, we're going to grab some more text. Control V to paste. Okay, and we're going to be adding an image. All right, so I'm going to click on the book option. It has a YouTube video, but we're going to be using one of these images. So this is what the book looks like when you have created this. I'm just going to copy this image by clicking copy image address, going back here, and I'm going to click on the insert image option, which we looked at earlier. I would Control V to paste the link to the book here, and it says describe the image for someone who cannot see it. So image showing book resource. All right, I want this to be smaller, so I'm going to resize it to 400 and then save image. So this is what that looks like. Okay, and I'm going to say now to read more, you may click here. I'm going to hyperlink the word here. I have to go back now to Moodle, grab the hyperlink. All right, so this is the hyperlink address that we're using. Go back to Moodle, and I'm going to highlight the word here. Click on the link option and Control V or right click to paste the text. So I'm going to do that again. Okay, so I want them to be able to click on the word here so that they can go external to Moodle to read more about this particular resource. So what I'm doing, I'm going to go to the article, copy the URL for that article, go back to Moodle and select the word I want to hyperlink. Click on the link icon and right click to paste the URL. And if I want this to be opened in a new window, I can tick this little box, open in new window. So when they click on it, it opens in a new window. All right, so create link, and that's it. We're gonna scroll down, save changes. Okay, and this is what our first page of our book looks like. You realize that we don't have to add the word chapter 1 because 1 is already there. So how would I edit this? Can somebody tell me if I wanted to edit the chapter name, where do I go to edit? What do I click on? Anybody? Which bright student wants to attempt this? Where would I go if I wanted to edit the chapter? The chapter name or the contents of the chapter?
Yeah. Let me try. There's the little wheel.
Miss Noble, go ahead. Okay, so that it's a wheel. Which one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Which one is it?
Well, I'd imagine it is the
I would
little
say
wheel.
Go ahead, Miss Noble. You're saying? Hello?
It was not Miss Noble. I'm not sure who it was, but it's good I'm on your
Oh,
mind, Mickey.
I thought I think I saw the audio meter moving when you were speaking. Okay, so it looks like it's Miss Williams, Pauline
yes,
Williams.
yes. The other Miss
Oh,
Noble did speak, and Miss Williams, I think, spoke as well.
okay,
We
all right.
both
So she said,
the
okay.
small cup.
So it's a small one, you said?
I
It's
said the
this
small
one?
cup. Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead with this one then. So we're gonna click on this and see if we get the option. And yeah, it's there. All right, so I'm just gonna remove all of this that says chapter 1. All right, and then the chapter name would come here. All right, so let's get the chapter name then. Let's call it Moodle Resource Types. Okay, and we scroll down, we can change the contents if we wanted to as well. We scroll down and we click on save. And this looks much neater in terms of the table of contents. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You're seeing teacher being highlighted because in the glossary there is some linkages with the word teacher being created. All right, so we will look at that in another training session, but that's why teacher is it seems as though it's hyperlinked. But when they click on here, it takes them to sorry, it takes them to a page with the book resource, with information about the book resource. Okay, so we're going to add 2 more chapters. All right, to do that, there's an add button here. And this is how we add a new chapter. We click on add. Okay, and we are now going to look at, let's call this chapter title labor resource, the labor resource. All right, and we are going to take our content from here. Good. We are going to grab the text here, paste, and this time we're going to grab the YouTube video. All right, so I am going to right click on it, copy the embed code as we had done earlier, go back to Moodle, click to show more options to find the HTML tool, and at the bottom I'm going to paste this code. All right, so when I click back on the HTML button, the video appears. Okay, so if I wanted this to be a subchapter of the first chapter, I would tick subchapter here. So it would appear, but it would appear indented. All right, but it's not a subchapter, it's chapter 2. So I'm going to scroll down and click on save. All right, so it appears as chapter 2, and I can click to watch my video. I can full screen my video. Sound and okay, so our final page, we're going to click on add. Now, if I wanted this page to be under chapter 1, I would click the add beside chapter 1. If I want it to appear last, I would click the add beside chapter 2, the add button beside chapter 2. I can create books and hide pages if I want, or hide chapters. To do that, I would just click on the eye. So this would be hidden from the students, would not be able to see that chapter. Right? Also, if the order in which the chapters flow, if I wanted to change that order, I could simply use the arrow key. So if I want to move chapter 2 up to be chapter 1 and vice versa, I could click on the arrow key. All right, so I'm going to click on add. Okay, so this one now, we are going to call this the URL resource, this page, the URL resource. Okay, so for this page, we are going to record. We're going to do an audio recording as we had demonstrated earlier by clicking on record audio. All right, and it is recording me now. I'd mentioned earlier that we have up to 2 minutes for each snippet, and it can be multiple snippets. Okay, so stop recording and attach. So that is there. We're also going to grab some of the text on the URL here. Paste. All right, and let's just grab some more text. Copy. So remember, if you're using work that is not yours, it's good to reference it. All right, because that's very important. We don't want to tell students not to use somebody else's work without referencing, but we're doing the same. So it's good to put a little notation at the bottom to say that it was adapted from, or you can use the APA citation to make reference to where you got the information from. All right, so this is a third page. We're going to scroll down, save the changes, and I'm going to add another page, but I'm going to make it a subchapter of chapter 3. All right, so I'm going to click on add, and I am going to call this teacher field. All right, so I'm just going to grab this small bit of information here. Control V to paste. All All right, and I'm going to click or tick rather the subchapter button here, just to show you what that looks like. Save changes, and you see it appears as a subchapter beneath chapter 3. Okay, so we're going to go back to the main course page and click on the book to view it. So this is what the icon looks like. Book, and this is how it appears, and the student can navigate using the table of contents. Yeah, of course, they won't be able to see all of these options, right? We're in as teachers, so that is the reason why we can see all these options. They'll only be able to navigate using the table of contents. Okay, we have another resource type similar to this. It's called the lesson, where it actually allows you to have hyperlinks on the page to jump to different areas of the lesson. That will be demonstrated in an intermediate training session. Okay, so we have come to the end of the basic training, right? I had earlier mentioned that the all training modules are online. So every single thing that we do in the different training sessions, it can be done online, and you must do them online. We want to do them online because we want for you to get your own practice. This is really a training session, not really a workshop per se. The training modules are created online for you to go in and at your own pace, take the different activities, watch the videos, read the resources, get the badge of badge of completion upon successful completion of the units, receive your certificate of completion once you have completed the online training modules. That is what we're encouraging you to do. Now, I had shown you earlier what the module looks like. Okay, but I wanted to mention as well, for the summer series training sessions that we did, the training, the recordings rather was uploaded. So you will see the recording, this training session that was done in June here. So it's basically all of what I just did a while ago. So if you want to be guided by that, you can do that. We also have the manual, the training manual with step-by-step instructions, screenshots. So the resources are there. Everything is there for you to access, for you to ably, take the modules online. I mentioned earlier as well, but I'll repeat it if you came in later, that if you're not seeing the training modules on your dashboard, more than likely you're not enrolled to it. If you wish to be enrolled to the training module, you can send me an email or Mrs. Anderson, and we will speedily add you. All right. Do we have any questions before we go? Okay, Miss Williams, you take care. All right. Are there any questions before we go, before we leave? We have another training session on Thursday. This will be conducted by Mrs. Kamala Anderson. She's in today's training session as well. Thanks for attending, Mrs. Anderson. She's also from the Office of Distance Learning. She's our instructional design specialist. And Thursday's training session will be at 2 p.m. And we'll look at the tools in Moodle that allow for collaboration and student interaction. All right. If you are a new lecturer, Mrs. Roach, so if you're a new lecturer, you would have a login for UTech Online. All right, so what you can just do is to write us to ask us to enroll you to it so that you can see it. All right, if you haven't received your credentials as yet, Mrs. Ivy, the training manual could be sent to you, but wouldn't be very useful because you wouldn't be able to match it against the platform, or to be guided by the platform while you're using it. You understand? So I guess you just have to wait until you have received the credentials before. Right, and your classes begin tomorrow. Yeah, so there's not much that we can do from the Office of Distance Learning as it relates to your access, because we don't handle accounts. We don't handle lecturers' accounts in any way, shape, or form. We don't create them or anything of the sort. So I would ask you to speak with human resource, and I'm thinking they would point you to information systems. Yes. All right, so if you could do that, Mrs. Ivy, that would be good, but we are not responsible for that. Okay, Mrs. Roach, you have a login, but there's no information there. So you would have to I'm assuming you have courses online, Mrs. Roach, right? I'm assuming that is so. So if there's no information there, that means that you're not enrolled to your courses. So the DLL for COBAM would be responsible, as a distance learning liaison would be responsible for well, she would have to hear from you about the course being offered, sorry, this semester, and that would allow her to update the sheet so that we can see on our end that you should be added to the module. The module has to be reset, and then you have to be added. So you can reach out to your DLL concern that, because the request has to come directly from the DLL, the distance learning liaison. You're welcome. All right. I think it's Mr. Antoine. Your hand is raised from Phil's.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's my problem. I am using the PDF tutorial. And I've been trying since yesterday to add a new course, but I'm just not seeing that link at
Right.
the end of my page.
Right. So I mentioned earlier, if you are not seeing that link, you are not a course creator in LMS Dev. So it's simple. Just send us an email and we'll just give you that role quickly so you can go ahead and add the course. But that's the reason why.
I just added him Miss Specs. So if he refreshes, he'll see it now.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Anderson. So Mr. Antoine, can you just reattempt that for me,
Yes.
please? You should be able to see the
If
button.
I refresh now, I should be able to see that option.
Right, so it should be at the bottom of the faculty page. So once you click on the faculty, click on the school, scroll down at the bottom, the add a new course button will appear. In the meantime, Miss Noble, I'm seeing that your hand is raised. Miss Noble?
Yes. I'm just wanting to be sure where I would go and actually see the training in Moodle. And it's a page that would have your picture, or is this the same course that I'm on? Because I did type in the URL, or I shouldn't have done that.
Which URL did you type in? What you're looking for? The basic training online?
Yes.
Yeah, man. So you're not searching for it, it should be on your dashboard. So if you were enrolled, it should be on your dashboard.
All right, I see. Cool. It's on my
All
record.
right.
All right. Because it took me straight to the course because I typed in everything on the URL. So it went straight to the course. I didn't go to the dashboard. It took me straight
Okay.
to the screen. Thank you.
All right, no problem. All right, do we have any other questions before we go? It's now 1:30 and the session ends now. Is it only registered students that can access Moodle? So from the last session I sat in, Mrs. Roach, it's understood that the student would have had to pay at least the commitment fee and then select the modules, and then they would be enrolled. So the integration takes place with ISAS and UTech Online. So once the commitment fee is paid, they'd be able to register for the courses and they'd be reflected on their dashboard in Moodle. And sure, go ahead.
I've had requests by other students, by students who are in my class as well as students who are not in my class. I don't have them, and there's, for whatever reason, they want me to send them the guest link. No, I've never done that because, in fairness, I'm not sure if they really should be in my course or not. And based on what you just said, if somebody hasn't paid the commitment fee or has paid it, how would I be able to find that out without asking the student?
Well, if the commitment fee is paid, they would be able to select the module from the ISA system. So that doesn't require, sorry, your involvement in any way. And once they have registered for the module, they'd be able to log on now to UTech Online and see the module on their dashboard. So unless you have a class list, Miss Noble, you won't be able to tell if that student is in any way affiliated to your class. You understand?
Sorry,
And I'm
just to add, Miss Peck, that
right.
I understand wanting to help out the students, but the practice of giving out guest links should not be encouraged because that will not motivate the student to regularize themselves, and also it means that the student will not have access to any of the other resources, and then you're going to put yourself in quite a pickle of having to provide, send them tests via email or send them resources. Point of the matter is that the auto enrollment process now is of such that once a student has paid their ECD within, I believe it's 48 hours, they are cleared and then they are auto enrolled in their modules. And that process happens twice per day, once in the morning and once in the evening. So if a student is not actually added to the module, it means that they have not yet made their payments. So
Right.
you don't really want to be facilitating that student at all. They need to get themselves sorted out.
I guess the only part where they get caught is in that 48-hour turnaround window. All right.
All right. Okay, so thanks to everyone for attending today's session. I mentioned we have another session on Thursday being conducted by Mrs. Anderson, and it looks at the collaboration and interaction tools that enhance student engagement in Moodle. All right, so thanks so much for attending and see you on Thursday. Bye bye.
One more quick one. That means we just